Coming up at 11, a family of one Prestonsburg teen are showing their support as the teen will soon embark on a journey.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Vivica Grayson. One Prestonsburg teen will undergo several treatments to fight a rare form of blood cancer. But before he embarks on his journey, his family wanted to give him a day he'll never forget. WYMT's Alyssa Williams was there to watch Blade's special day unfold.
November 7th was a special day for 17-year-old Blade Cottle as family, friends, and community members came to his celebration of life event in Prestonsburg.
We figure this is a good way to celebrate the years we've had and hopefully the years that we will continue to have.
Blade was born with DeGeorge syndrome, a chromosomal disorder that causes several developmental delays and physical ailments. But it wasn't until recently that he was diagnosed with a blood cancer called MDS.
Honestly, Blade is the best one of us. He is so happy all the time, and he finds happiness in the smallest of things.
Blade begins treatment in December, where he will undergo chemo, radiation, and eventually receive a bone marrow transplant.
He's going to be in the hospital for about 6 to 8 months, so he's going to miss Christmas, and he's going to miss his birthday, and he's going to miss all the celebrations in that time frame.
Blade's loved ones came together Sunday to give him a day full of the things he loves. Be the Match Marrow Registry was also in attendance for Blade's celebration, encouraging people to register as a bone marrow donor to help kids just like Blade.
I love the fact that everybody's coming out to celebrate him and do things for him and stuff, and it gives him a day to shine, and that's what I want.
Offering love, support, and a special day for a very special boy. In Prestonsburg, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Be the Match is looking for marrow donors to help kids just like Blade. To register to become a donor, you can text 4BLADE to 61474. An Eastern Kentucky writer has changed up her style yet again, this time with a children's book. Hyden native Amy Brudnicki published Fluffy's Missing Gift back in October. This story is about a dog named Max trying to find a lost gift he got for a cat named Fluffy. While a deviation from her previous works, Brudnicki says that is to be expected, citing her other work echoes of the past.
I was just writing down stories that I didn't want to forget. So that's how I write. I write down stuff that I want to remember always, and I want my family and friends to remember. So that's what is the driving force behind what I choose to write.
Those interested in picking up the new book can find that link on our website. The Catholic Action Center in Lexington is preparing to help people this holiday season. Even though COVID has changed how they help a bit, they say more people than ever need assistance. Grayson Passamore has the story.
The holiday spirit is needed now more than ever.
For the past 25 years, Jenny Ramsey and her team of volunteers have fed at least 400 people every Thanksgiving.
Well, last year, of course, I don't even have to say why, we could not have people gather and sit down and serve a meal.
That didn't mean the meals weren't going to be served.
But we could do drive-through or walk up and get it.
So the Knights of Columbus donated the food, those with the U.S. Postal Service cooked it all, and volunteers with the Catholic Action Center fed those in need, with plans to follow that same format again this year. And not just for Thanksgiving.
But hang on just a minute as I change into our elf hats.
For the 26th annual Faith and Community Store,
we have schools in Lexington that are collecting the toys, are making Santa bags for families.
Sign-ups for families go live December 10th. They'll have toys for 400 to 500 families.
And last year we had 250 folks sign up in 10 minutes.
COVID has changed the way volunteers are able to help this year. It's even changed the amount of people who need that assistance.
Because there's a lot of people that are still struggling to get through. There's an increase in homelessness.
But one thing COVID won't do is keep the volunteers from making sure people are fed, warm, and loved through the holidays. In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
The Catholic Action Center is asking for desserts for Thanksgiving this year. They'll be accepting them that week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and up until noon on Thursday. They're also asking for sleeping bags and winter coats to hand out through their Compassionate Care van. After nearly 2 years, the United States will be back open to vaccinated international travelers tomorrow. The U.S. is lifting a pandemic travel ban on international visitors from more than 30 countries who were shut out for 20 months. International visitors will need to show proof of vaccination and a recent negative COVID test, with some exceptions. Port Authority officials say the reopening will make for full flights and long lines. Airlines are still adjusting and continue to bring back employees and aircraft sidelined because of the pandemic.
Well, the weather was absolutely perfect for your Sunday across the mountains. Let's take a look at that I-75 camera over in London. We were dry and sunny today, and we continue to be dry and clear tonight. Same story at our I-64 camera over in Moorhead. A really nice sunset back into the distance. And right now we are dry and clear across our area. Those temperatures right now already down into the upper 30s for some, lower 40s for others, 44 for Prestonsburg, 46 in Pikeville, 38 for London, and 39 right now over in Somerset. Like I said, we are dry and clear on satellite and radar. Not much happening out there, and that will continue for the rest of tonight. So the forecast for tonight, we fall off into those low to middle 30s out there. We stay dry under mostly clear skies, but some changes are on the way for your next work week. Got that full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Cameron. American Airlines is giving flight attendants a bonus in an effort to prevent another operational meltdown during the holidays. According to an internal memo, American flight attendants who work during the Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's holidays will get a 150% premium. Also, those who have no absences between November 15th and January 2nd will get an even higher 300% premium for the holiday hours they work. The one-time premium for peak holiday travel periods is being offered to help American Airlines meet the expected consumer demand. In Houston, investigators today worked to determine how 8 people died in a crush of fans as rapper Travis Scott performed in front of 50,000 people. Lilia Luciano reports.
With flowers, cards, and candles, mourners honored the victims of Friday's deadly crowd surge at a memorial outside the concert venue. Many of them were at Astroworld. They say they felt lucky and grateful that they made it out unharmed.
I was just thinking, like, this is it for me. I'm gonna die in here.
Stacy Sarmiento was trapped in the crush of the crowd. Her friend, 23-year-old college student Rudy Peña, did not make it.
It makes me think, like, what he was thinking.
In a video, rapper Travis Scott offered prayers, saying he stopped his performance and tried to get help for the injured, but he played for almost 40 minutes after authorities began responding to the mass casualty event.
I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening.
And tonight, there are reports that at least one lawsuit has been filed against Travis Scott and Live Nation by somebody attending the concert. Mourners will have the opportunity to pay tribute to the victims tonight at a vigil in downtown. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Houston.
You might think baseball season ended with the World Series, but in Florida, there's the Fall Classic, known as the Miracle League game. On Thursday, a crowd of baseball fans paid tribute to local veterans who spent their young lives on the battlefield instead of the ball field. World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam veterans from a Panama City nursing home got their very own Field of Dreams. The players are all residents of the Clifford Sims State Veterans Nursing Home, which is operated by the State Department of Veteran Affairs. This is the 10th year for the Miracle League game, which is always a special event for players and fans alike, and a way to say thank you to Florida's veterans. A Northern California company says it is ushering in the future of protein production. Instead of farm animals in a slaughterhouse, a company called Upside Foods is using a lab. Ryan Curry takes us on a tour of their new facility.
Gauges, meters, flashing lights. It's all futuristic at this lab in Emeryville. And it's all designed to make real meat. The main difference, they're not harvesting it from animals.
So we're just trying to make the same product people have loved their entire lives a different way.
Eric Scholes is the vice president at Upside Foods, a company trying new ways to create products we already eat. They let us inside for a look at their new lab. The way it works, they take cells from animals and grow the meat right here.
We take a small sample of cells from an animal, muscle tissue, and we bring it into this facility right behind me. And we grow them. We feed them just like they would be fed in an animal, and we can produce a lot of muscle tissue directly from a very small amount of cells, and then we feed it to other people.
According to them, the food looks just like what we would already find in a grocery store. This is footage they provided us from a recent cooking segment. This way of food production is something scientists say they've been researching for several years. Dr. Ricardo San Martin at UC Berkeley specializes in this type of production, but he says he doesn't think what Upside Foods is doing will work long term.
Can you grow them at scale in such numbers that it will make it competitive with beef or any other, it could be fish or poultry? And our answer to that, based just on well-known principles of biotechnology of fermentation processes, it doesn't look very good.
However, Upside Foods says they are confident they can produce meat at high numbers.
So that instead of growing for 18 months to make a cow, in 14 to 21 days, we've got the same beef on a grocery store shelf.
In Emeryville, Ryan Curry, ABC 7 News.
The Iraqi prime minister has survived an assassination attempt. An explosive laden drone targeted his residency in Baghdad earlier today, according to the Iraqi military. The Ministry of Interior says security forces were able to down 2 out of the 3 drones involved in the assassination attempt.
To my family and my people everywhere in the Great Iraq, to everyone who was worried tonight. There was a cowardly attack on my home, but thanks to God, I and those who work with me are fine.
No one has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. Hundreds of kids rolled up their sleeves yesterday morning at the Denver Zoo. It wasn't just to touch an animal in the petting zoo, but to get their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Now that kids 5 to 11 can get the shot, what better place to get it than at one of their favorite places? Darius Johnson takes us to the zoo.
The perfect place to spend an awkwardly warm Saturday in November, and you can tell by the crowd.
Us?
Yes, you, and them too.
Feels amazing, man.
He's not talking about the weather.
This one just tickled. All it did was tickle. It did nothing.
10-year-old Carlos Gonzalez
Hello there.
rolled up his sleeve and faced his fear.
I want to be free from COVID. I've had it once and never again, never again, never.
He couldn't believe it.
Kind of like mind blown. Like, this is really happening. This is really, really happening.
That was one reason to get a shot.
You're so used to going outside, meeting other people. I don't know, just seeing the sun on a daily basis. But now you're stuck in a home when you see the same face over and over and over again. At that point, it's just house arrest.
His planning made room for some well-deserved fun.
I got it on my left arm, so I know that my right arm, I can draw now.
These kiddos did everything they could to make this fun and easy, even if it meant their best friend got to tag along.
This is Tiggy.
And this guy still won't believe how brave he is, even if you told him.
Me?
Yes,
really? Get vaccinated as fast as you can. That way you could go back to the life you loved.
The demand was so high at the Denver Zoo, the state health department gave out the 1,000 doses it had allocated fairly quickly. Additional doses have been ordered to make sure everyone has a chance to get the shot, including the children's parents. Coming up at 11, the rise of the ugly holiday sweaters continues. And a Michigan veteran recently received something special.
Temperatures are cool right now, but we warm up into your next work week. I got all those details coming up.